Welcome back to the Kyalami Motorsport Festival here at the Kyalami Grand Prix Circuit. Final race of the day about to happen, and welcome to all of our visitors worldwide out on Facebook. We've been live streaming all the races today, so if you didn't see any of the races, you can go back on the internet live event broadcasting page that you're watching from, or if you haven't been watching from there, tell your friends that they are broadcasting all of the races today via iLEB's Facebook page, and all that action is now available to you, and you can go and watch it as many times as you want. Like it, please share it as much as you can as well. This is the way to go of the future of motorsport coverage, and a reverse grid now for the AMC V8 supercars. It'll be Romano Sartori who will lead them around and dictate the pace as the Porsche Panamera pulls into the pit lane. And alliteration aside, we're going racing, Rob.
He's jamming it. Sartori there comes across the line. Oh, that's a beautiful shot. What is that? 10-11 V8 supercars side by side. There we go. Once again, using the pit lane and a little bit more. Please, Toby Fenter, can you build a wider track? Coming into turn one.
Campos around the outside.
Campos around
on the inside. What a start there from Isak Spies. He hangs on to the lead. And on his tail is Mackie Adlam. It's Roy Campos who dives into third place, but Rolf du Plessis is back in the house and in the Holden, already putting massive pressure onto Campos. Campos and du Plessis have done this on a few occasions, let me tell you. And here comes some more of it. Benjamin Morgenrud is not going to realize that the two of them might have a few little issues to sort out from previous races. Speaking of issues to sort out, Adlam's already hit the front. So no worries at all in terms of the reverse grid and his ability to get through that pack of cars. He's now at the front end. Here comes Rolfie. Up the inside of his teammate, up into second place, and it's now a Ford-powered XKR Jaguar out in front of a Chevy-powered Holden as they head into the S's for the first time. Jaguar versus Mustang, Mustang versus Corvette, and here comes the second of the Jags, the XKR of Franco de Mateus, the Varta Batteries Jaguar, and that black cat will probably make mincemeat of the Prix Instrumentation Corvette if he can find a way past. But Stevie Herbst is not letting him do that. That's a super drive coming out of Herbst as he keeps him at bay. And the third Jaguar behind them, of course, is Alki Kampan.
And no Terry Wolford in this race. I'm just having a look there. Can't see Terry Wolford anywhere. So one of our front runners did have issues in race number one. So unable to make it in race number two. This is really starting to heat up now. This battle a little bit further down. Leaders have to... Ooh, that's touching. That is clipping each other, going into crocodile.
In a big V8.
You don't want to do that in a big V8. Oh, there we go. 2x2 Cheetah again. No, there we go.
No, they've tapped out. I think they've realized that you can't put two cars through Cheetah. A lot of guys have tried today, and a lot of them have been found wanting. So as they come into braking now for the final turn into Ingwe corner, it is D'Amato applying the pressure. It's the Italian Stallion versus our Portuguese contingent. The Campos boys are back in racing, so that could end up in tears. Italians versus Porras normally turns out to be a big one.
Rolf du Plessis in second place there. 52.7 from a standing start there from Mackie Adlam from the back of the grid. So brilliant drive there. Benjamin Morgenrud already up into third. Isaac Spies right in there. Love the delivery on those two cars. Isaac Spies and Rolf du Plessis.
Oh, good move there from Benjamin Morgenrud. Diving on the inside and gets ahead of Rolf du Plessis. Apologies there. We thought car 66 would be Aki, but it's actually Larry Wolford who's climbed in for the second race. So we got one of the Wolfords back in. So car 66 there being driven by Larry Wolford this time out. That's the third of those Jaguars. Now as they come under braking for Clubhouse Corner, a little bit of return on investment here from Rolf as he closes in. The Ultimate Outlaws Raceway sponsorship on the side of that car, and looking for a chance to close down on his fellow Ranfontein man. That is Benjamin Morgenrud driving in his dad's colours, heading to the top of the hill.
What is in the water in Ranfontein?
Yeah, they've got something special there.
There's something special there.
If you think about it, there's about 7 of these top 10 drivers that come out of Ranfontein, if I'm not mistaken. And all of them fight just as hard as this.
Du Plessis squares it on the inside of Morgenrud there. Brilliant. I think Morgenrud went in a little bit deep, opened the door up, and Rolf du Plessis does not need a second invitation. All problems there.
Smoke out of the Corvette, yeah. I think Steve Herbst might be in a bit of terminal problems there.
He had such a good start as well.
Slowing up, and that might be a bit of a problem there for Herbst. Hopefully not going to be dropping any fluid. Doesn't look like it is as they come out. Gennaro Bonafini pops into our studio. Well done on a good drive there, buddy. Pity about the car run. Did it run out of fuel? I know that. So potentially that's what we thought would happen exactly. So, but still gives you a good opportunity of finishing up nicely for the day. Well, as good as you can. Good job, though. So that's Bonafini popping in while we're doing V8s here. He's loving life in his Sassel BMW. And, of course, these cars also run on some Sassel fuel, too. They get helped out every now and again by some Sassel guys. But down onto the braking markers now. Benjamin Morgenrud trying to hang on to what is potentially second place. But that's not easy to do when you've got Rolf du Plessis on your tail. Interesting to see it's 222 versus 22 there.
Oh, yep. Yeah, well
Rolf
done.
normally fights 222 being his daughter Rochelle in the Oval Track Championship. So 22, a famous number coming out of Randfontein by the looks of things.
It looks like it is a favourite number there, but the man out front, Mackie Adlam, look, funny enough, the fastest lap time on track their last lap around was Franco Di Matteo.
Yeah.
On a 48.2, so watch out for Franco Di Matteo. Didn't get the start that he wanted. Again, just proving that you need to get that start. Look at him closing down now. He's really coming thick and fast in the quantum 3.
The Black Cat, Water Battery Jaguar, definitely closing in on the back end and looking for a chance to close in on that Holden.
Oh, Rolf du Plessis a little bit hot into the
Yeah,
S's.
I was about to say running wide into the S's.
Using those big biceps that he's got to just steer that car through there, because it is not easy to get one of these V8s through
The other
there.
thing he was using is the additional bit of acreage that's been given in the S's. If you remember, the S's used to be very tight.
That would be
There's a
game
load
over.
more room there now, and I think if he'd gone into the old S's, he wouldn't have come out.
Definitely.
So as they head down the mine shaft now, absolutely everything she's got. Flat out stuff coming out of that Water Batteries Jaguar of Di Matteo.
He's
He was
lining something
third
up
in the
for
championship last year, and certainly looking to get to third place in this race if he can. Closes right in on the back end now. As we mentioned earlier on, you would have seen Rolf du Plessis, Isak Spies all fighting in Oval Track Championships, and in fact in an international Oval Track Championship over the last couple of weekends. Di Matteo and who was the other driver that we were talking about earlier on? Just going through the Roy Campos.
Roy Campos.
A lot
He's
of
done a
guys
lot
that
of
have
driving.
spent time in and behind the wheel of other race cars, getting themselves honed in for today. The rest of these guys, this is the first outing for them. It's really not, the way things should be going. The guys who've had the track time should be leading this race, but that's not how it works in V8 supercars. But eventually we're getting Di Matteo come side by side with Wolfie into Crowthorne.
Wolfie's got the line going into the right-hander though. Ooh, just chops his nose off. Oh, that was close. But Di Matteo once again, fastest lap of the race at 47.6. So he's almost a second faster than our leader, Mackie Adlam. So Di Matteo, if he had just got the start, he could have done a little bit more damage to the front.
The reverse grid caught him out there a
It
little
did
bit.
definitely catch him out. He's still got enough time with 4 laps remaining to close down on Morgan Route, but I don't think he's got enough to catch Mackie Adlam. Look at the gap that he's already pulled on Rolf du Plessis.
And remember, you would have been looking at a possible 10-lapper here had we not run into light issues. And as you can see, ladies and gents, from the coverage you're seeing, it is getting pretty dark out there. And if you look at the camera, the shots you're getting from the cameras, it's a lot lighter than what it actually is.
Yeah.
So these guys having to fight it out as the last race on the day. They've also been part of an incredible day's racing here at the Kyalami Motorsport Festival.
Yes.
So do yourselves a favor, get onto Kyalami's Facebook page, check out all the action that's coming in the very near future. There are lots of events happening here this year, big ones particularly that you need to be aware of: the Bike Festival, Comic Con, and of course the Motoring Festival. And there's a potential of the V8s being involved in that Motoring Festival again. I know that GTC have got an invitation and possibly Polos, but I'm hoping that the V8s get another invitation to be part of that Motoring Festival, because they have a long-standing relationship with, of course, the big sponsor of that Motoring Festival, Westbank.
Looking so smooth is Mackie Adlam up front. He literally's got that car dialed in. He puts it exactly where he wants. Nice, beautiful wide sweeping lines, not hitting the curbs as we saw in race number 1 a couple of times, trying to fight the car. And coming across the line, there's 3 laps remaining, and certainly Di Matteo is closing down. Coming across the line, that time Di Matteo was once again about 5/10 faster than Ben Morganroot out front. So definitely closing down. 3 laps to go. Will he have enough time? I'm pretty sure if he keeps with that kind of pace that he's got now, he'll close that gap. And you can see that gap visibly closing down now. So Morganroot's got a lot of work still to do if he wants to hold down in that second place. Franco Di Matteo coming. Rolf du Plessis has dropped out of that battle for the final podium. Oh, check it, that sideways 4-wheel drifting a big V8 car. That is impressive.
I remember last weekend he was playing around in a V6 Alpha in one of the 111 races, and of course in the NPCs he's playing in a Ford Laser. So he gets to play in a whole bunch of different motor cars. So getting into this big V8, I'm sure this is the one he loves the most. In fact, I know it for certain, as he comes into the S's, closing down on Benjamin Morganroot, one of the youngest drivers in V8s ever to take a victory. He's the second youngest to take a victory ever in a V8, but certainly showing he's got the same kind of talent that his dad has got, and of course he's going to be a massive contender if he continues his career in V8s for potentially taking a V8 championship, and that'll be awesome to see. I mean, we've seen the likes of various families in the V8 supercars taking championships back-to-back. The Orbeys have taken them. The Wolfords have taken them. You've got everybody that's been involved literally from the start of the relationship, which was originally the modified saloon cars, then into the V8s, then into the V8 supercars, and long may they continue, because this is exactly what a lot of the fans that have come out today have wanted to see. The rolling thunder of Sam Car V8s.
And it's a big thanks to that car right out there. That's car number 14. That's Romano Satori. He is the big man behind the sponsorship of this category. So great to see him not only taking part, but also putting his money behind, like you said, what has been a stalwart series of South African motorsport. And here we go now with 2 laps remaining. Looks like Di Matteo, once again, he was just a little bit faster that time, 3:10, so it's still not enough with 2 laps remaining to try and close down there. So Morgan doing a great job at just holding it. It looks like he's actually pulled away. And in the meantime, they are definitely closing on Mackie Adlam, who was a 49.6 last time. So they're both drivers behind him, almost a second quicker than the man out front. So maybe just maintaining the rest. Oh, that's Duplessis. Rolf has come into the pits. He's dropped out of that leading pack like a stone, and unfortunately putting into pits with some kind of problem there. So is Mackie Adlam now just maintaining this race, or has he got issues in that car? Because certainly he's slowing up.
Well, he's slowing up quite dramatically, actually.
Yeah, he's got problems.
There's an issue there on Mackie Adlam's
And we've
car.
lost Di Matteo.
Looks like Di Matteo's also had an issue somewhere because he's slowed up also. So a little bit of closing stages issues here for a few cars. We've got a lap and a half to go as they get to Leeuwkop, and it looks like Benjamin Morgenroot is closing rapidly on the back end of Mackie Adlam. Adlam going to try and fend off the attack coming from Benjamin Morgenroot. But Frank and Matteo also. I did see him in the background. He just lost a little bit of ground. Maybe just missed a gear or something. But the Vata Batteries Jaguar is still in with a shout here, and potentially could be even up into second place. Looking for the gap there. Watch as they come through just in the background. Keep an eye out for that big black cat. And there's a move for the lead.
Yep.
Adlam didn't even contest it.
No,
he knows he's got a problem. He's
got a problem there. Benjamin Morgenroot making the pass there from miles back coming down into Crocodile. So definitely some problems there for Adlam. So that's promoted Morgenroot up into the lead. Franco Di Matteo just out of that battle there, unfortunately. But 1 lap remaining as they come across the line now. Mackie Adlam, big problems in that car, but he might hold into second because Frank. Oh, he comes across the line. He thinks he's won it.
No, the flag's not out yet, but he got 1 more to go. Benjamin Morgenroot, he's got his hand out the window there, but I don't think he realizes that it is actually not the end of the race. He's slowing down like it's the end of the race. Mackie Adlam's going to go up his inside, and he's going to overtake.
No
so Adlam
way.
is going to take this win. This is going to be a rookie mistake here from Benjamin Morgenroot.
And he just set the fastest lap.
I think he's just realized that the race is not done. Hopefully they've got, well, they don't have any in-car communications there, but I think Mackie Adlam has just given him the heads up that it's not done yet. Benjamin Morgenroot is going to have to fight this one out for this last lap. That's a big rookie mistake there. He'll never do that again, I can tell you. But he realizes that he's made a massive mistake now, and Adlam could capitalize, even though he's in an ailing car. I think he's following him around like it's the end of the race, and he's done it all and sorted it all out. But I think Benjamin Morgenroot is going to be kicking himself after this if he loses to Mackie Adlam.
If he can't get past, he certainly is. That's
and
for
Di Matteo
sure.
is looking, going, well, hang on a second. If these 2 cars have slowed up enough, I might still be able to steal this victory.
I cannot believe it. There we go. He makes the move on the inside there. So damage limitations now for Benjamin Morgenroot. Will he hold it? Adlam's going to try and fight back on the inside, the top of the hill. He just doesn't have the car underneath him now to make a challenge there. So Benjamin Morgenroot, how is that? Came across, set the fastest lap of the race, came across the line.
I got this.
Maybe not. And still got the window down there. I love that. So come through, and
he's going to be very lucky to survive that.
A couple of corners remaining. Here comes Di Matteo, so he's not out of it either. He might be able to get ahead there of the ailing Mackie Adlam.
Yeah, there's a good possibility, but what I wanted to say is there's a very good possibility.
Yeah, he will.
If Mackie Adlam hadn't run out of steam.
Morgenroot slowing down again.
Well, he's thinking he's got to pull into the pit lane.
He was just waiting to see.
No, hang on. This is for the lead. He thinks the race is done now, coming down onto the breakers, and Benjamin Morgenroot, I think, is going, well, are we pulling into pit lane or not?
What are we doing?
Here goes the dice to the line. Oh, his hand's out this time. Now I've got it. What was Benjamin Morgenroot thinking there?
Just to make it exciting.
Sure.
Oh, look at that.
I think
car.
He's got a puncture. I was trying to pick up on the problem on his car, and I picked it up a little bit earlier on. Didn't quite get to mention it because of all the action that happened in that last lap. But if he hadn't picked up that puncture, let me tell you something. Benjamin Morgenroot would be ruining that day. He would have said to himself, yes, I got the victory, I won, and then Adlam would have blasted past him and won it out. So it is Benjamin Morgenroot who eventually comes through.
Saves the blushes.
Just saving the day. Ahead of Frank and Matteo. Larry Wolford crossed the line just ahead of Mackie Adlam as well. So Adlam down to 4th place, unfortunately, after his first race win. Isak Spies comes through for the top 5 finish, and then it's Ian Young ahead of Romano Satori. Rolf Duplessis, Roy Campos, and Steve Herbst, unfortunately not making it to the end of the day's racing there for the AMC V8 Supercars. Great action, as always, in the V8 Supercars. It's exactly what we expect. And we really hope you've enjoyed all the action we've given you via Facebook here today and all around the world of the Kyalami Motorsport Festival.
Just looking at that last lap, Benjamin Morgenroot of 1:59. He slowed up by almost 12 seconds.
Jeez.
So he was very lucky to get that, but everyone was ailing there. Frankie Di Matteo in
He
the
was looking as they went into pit lane if Emery was going to dive in. If he was going to dive in, he probably would have dived in.
Larry
front of him.
Wolford was almost 10 seconds faster on that final lap. As we go into the highlights here, it was all about the reverse grid at the beginning, but coming through the field, Mackie Adlam made short work of all that. Rolf Duplessis was doing everything he could, as was his teammate Isaac. Roy Campos was there, but only for a fraction of a second. And then Benjamin Morgenroot also started making his challenge, going down into Crocodile. Oh, look at that. They touched there, going into right-hander. That is Larry Wolford. And he also had to come through the field in that car to eventually pick up a brilliant third.
Yeah, Steve Herbst unfortunately just started to fall by the wayside right after that. Big action at the front end between Benjamin Morgenroot and Rolf Duplessis. They had some great fun and games between the two of them, trying to close down on Mackie Adlam and open up a little bit of a margin. At the end, though, Adlam started to ail a little bit with a slow puncture. And Rolf Duplessis kept Benjamin Morgenroot very honest through a couple of corners, and over a few laps, we saw big action between those two cars. Eventually, though, Morgenroot got away. Duplessis started to have some issues of his own and started to be closed down as well by, of course, the Italian Stallion. And Frankie Di Matteo getting into Crowthorne corner with a little bit of rubbing, a little bit of forceful maneuvers, but it eventually paid off, and Di Matteo got through. Di Matteo would then look to go to the front end to fight it out with Benjamin Morgenroot and Mackie Adlam, as Rolf Duplessis had some issues.
Adlam, see which tyre it was that maybe had the puncture there from
front
Adlam.
left, I think, was the problem he was having, but it was a slow puncture, and I was trying to pick up through the left-handers if he was able to handle it. That was, of course, the demise there of Rolf Duplessis. Benjamin Morgenroot closing in on Adlam in the closing stages, and in fact can just pick up through a couple of shots there, that front left just having some problems and deflating slowly but surely. That gave an opportunity to Benjamin Morgenroot, who thought this was the last lap, dived on the inside and thought, I've got this one, I've got the victory, I'm going to go for this final victory, and came across the line with his hand out the window, doing the shumi shuffle, only to realize, hang on a second, it's not done yet. Adlam is now attacking me down into Crowthorne. So we still had one more lap of action. There it is. Adlam on the attack into Crowthorne going, no, my boy, you're not done yet. We've got one more lap to go. Let's do it. I think Benjamin Morgenroot, as Adlam went flying past, realized that and went back on the attack. But it took him a while to get through on this final lap to find a way past him. He then slowed up, waiting for them to dive into pit lane, and just realized his mistake. And fortunately, he did, because he came across the line ahead of Di Matteo. In the background, as you picked up, Rob, was Larry Wolford closing in rapidly too. And eventually, Larry Wolford would come across the line ahead of Mackie Adlam and beat him to the line after that car ailed across. So a little bit of chopping and changing. That's how close it was, though, for third place, as Larry Wolford finishes up ahead of Mackie Adlam by, in the closing stages, what was it now? We're looking at about 0.2 of a second between the two of them at the end there. So that is AMC Samcar V8 Supercars done and dusted. It also brings us to the close of our production here at the Kyalami Motorsport Festival. We certainly hope you've enjoyed all the coverage that we've given you via the iLEB Facebook page. And a big thanks to all of our marshals and all of our officials today for giving us good, clean, safe racing. The medical team was brought into action on a few occasions. We send a big shout out to Ferdinand Frederick, who's in hospital having a few back injuries sorted out there. Hopefully it's a quick recovery for him and he can get back onto the circuit as quickly as possible. But once again, Kyalami has delivered some fantastic racing, and we're looking forward to all the big events coming up here in the very near future. From myself, Greg Maloney, on behalf of Rob Portman, Rob, thanks so much for an awesome day.
Yeah, awesome.
And to our team down in the FX team and to Dave Peterson, we hope you guys enjoyed all the action, and we'll catch you real soon on Facebook.